Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Tutor Impact TV with Toby. Hello, welcome to this video where I will be talking about the Pareto Principle and why you should not give 100%. So this will help you with your time management and will enable you to work smart, not just hard. It's often said that we should give 100% in whatever it is that we do. But I'm here to tell you today that this is a fool's errand or a wild goose chase. And these are British idioms that mean it's a waste of time and energy. So of course we should give 100% sometimes, but other times we actually should give a lot less than 100%. We have to put less effort into some areas so that we can prioritize other areas, because we don't have limitless time and limitless energy. Now, as an A-level student, I wasn't able to go home after school and do 2 hours of biology, 2 hours of chemistry, 2 hours of maths, and 2 hours of German. There's just not enough time in the evening. Let's say that I could get 4 hours done if I really worked hard and got my head down. But I wouldn't be able to do this every day for months and months, because after a while you run out of motivation. You have limited energy. You just get tired, mentally tired, as well as physically tired too. So sometimes, instead of going home and working for 4 hours, it might be best to go home and work for only 30 minutes. That's a long way away from 100%. But it means over time that you're not going to get burnt out. So we simply can't give 100% effort all the time, but we can get better results by putting in less effort. Let me introduce the Pareto Principle. This concept is named after an Italian economist called Vilfredo Pareto. In his work, he showed that 80% of the land in Italy was owned by just 20% of the population, but the principle applies more widely. So the principle states that 80% of outcomes come from 20% of inputs. It's not an exact science, but it's good to bear this principle in mind generally, so that you can prioritize your efforts. So let's apply the principle to the context of homework. So let's say you spend 10 hours on a project. It's entirely possible that 2 of these hours accounted for 80% of the progress you make in this project. Maybe there were 2 hours where you ignored outside distractions and stayed very focused. Maybe you just felt really energized at the time, or maybe something clicked and you had a great new idea. So how can we get more of these productive hours? It turns out that timing is key. Daniel H. Pink, in his book, When: The Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing, explains that tasks are either analytical or creative in their nature. Analytical tasks require strong focus and concentration to perform, and might include things like doing maths or learning French grammar. Tasks such as writing, painting, and video editing, for example, are more creative tasks. So when do you think it would be best to perform analytical tasks in your day? It's the case that for most people, analytical tasks are best performed in the morning, because in the late morning, your sharpness and your alertness and your focus peaks in the day. But in the afternoon, this sharpness and focus begins to fade and the mind starts to wander. And this is good for creative tasks because it enables you to consider a wider array of ideas, and more ideas than you usually consider if you were hyper-focused and thinking in quite a linear way. So timing and the Pareto Principle are linked, because if we can time our work optimally, then we will get the best results for our efforts. Let's consider a scenario. So you are revising for upcoming exams in the summer holidays outside of the structure of school. You have to structure your own time. So how can you do that to make the most of your effort and get the best results from the hours that you have in the day to work? In the morning, you may decide to focus more on analytical subjects where there is often a right and wrong answer. So things like maths and chemistry, because your mind will be more focused and concentrated. And in the mid and late afternoon, you may decide to focus on essay writing subjects, because writing is a creative task, though it does certainly have analytical components. So to summarize everything that I've talked about today, firstly, we can't always give 100% effort, nor should we try to, because we only have limited time and limited energy. Because our time and energy is limited, we ought to make the best use of our time and energy. That's the second point. And thirdly, often our level of productivity does not actually match our level of effort. This is because we can put the effort in at the wrong time. So we can put lots of effort in and get little done. And finally, science tells us that it's important to consider when we do tasks so that we can get the most bang for our buck, so that we can get the most productivity out of the efforts that we put in. Thank you for tuning in to Tutor Impact TV with Toby. I'll see you next time.